For this section of the tutorial, we go look at pivot tables and its functions. Wetin be pivot table? Pivot table na one of the most powerful and useful features for Excel. And with very little effort, we fit use pivot table to build good looking reports for large data sets. Make you think of pivot table like report, but unlike static report wey go just dey wey be say you no fit edit, pivot table provides an interactive view of your data. With very little effort and no formula, you fit look your data from many different perspectives. You fit even group your data into categories. You fit break down your data into days, years and months. You fit filter your data to include or exclude categories, and you fit even take am build charts. Some key pivot table benefits. Pivot tables dey fast, they dey flexible, they dey accurate, e dey easy to use am format, e dey easy to make updates, e dey allow us make we filter and make we create charts. So to understand pivot table well, make we see some examples. So make we create data wey we go use for our pivot table. So we'll copy our table. We'll use our filter option. Make we look at only those workers wey dey the sales department. Okay. No count. Let's count it. Okay, 75. So this one go dey enough for our pivot table. So if we copy them like this, we'll copy this table, copy only those wey dey the sales department. We'll paste them for new table. So now we don't get new table of only the workers wey dey sales department across all the branches in the country. So make we add a few more fields of data so we go fit use am do example for our pivot table. Make we add date for here. So for the date, we will choose a random date wey go span over 6 months. So let's say we want choose date from July 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2021. That one like 6 months. So and we want randomize the dates. So it's equal to round between our bottom value and top value. Our bottom value will be date. So we will use another function wey they call date. Date returns a number that represents a date in Microsoft Excel date time code. So if we click the date, it asks us for the year, month and day in this particular order. So 2021 July 7 1. We'll close our bracket. So that's our bottom value. Then our top value also date 2021 month December, day 31st. So we'll close our bracket and we'll close them one more time because our bracket dey open for here and we'll never close them. So okay, be like say problem dey with our formula. Okay, be like say the formula dey okay. So maybe now the formatting. I'll check the format. Let's make we change them from general to date. Okay, so okay, all right. So we don't get our date. Make we use the autofill handler. Okay, we'll still format on. We'll format everything. format cells, date. Okay, all right. So we don't get our random dates from July 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2021. So another value wey we fit add na revenue. So make we say each person brought a sales revenue of between 1 million naira to 25 million naira. Okay. Okay, for this one, we'll paste the values. So our value is not going to change. Copy, paste, values. Okay. So our revenue, make we use the autofill handler. The more format our cells from general, we'll change them to currency, symbol in naira. Now remove the decimal place, so it will be easy to identify. Okay, so each salesperson generated this revenue. Also revenue generated. So if you copy this one and paste only the values. Then I'll make we add another number of customers. So make we do another random number. Say within 6 months, our sales persons attended to from 5 customers to 25 customers. And then make we add one more, the final one. Make we say product sold. Product sold. Okay, so it be like say we don't create a new table of salespeople. So we have our serial number, employee code, the name of our salesperson, sex, age, marital status, state of origin, department, branch, zone, vaccination status, salary, date, revenue generated, number of customers attended to within the period, and the number of products sold. So we want to create pivot table for this our data set we will just create. So how we go create pivot table? If we click anywhere inside this data set, make I quickly fill the borders. So to create pivot table for this our data, the first thing we go do be say we go select any cell for inside our data. So make we select this cell and then we go click the insert tab. Under the insert tab, we go see pivot table under the tables ribbon. Now the tables ribbon be this, so now pivot table be this. So if we click pivot table, it go carry option come for us. They ask select a table or range. As you click on a cell for inside the pivot table, before you go click on the pivot table itself, Excel go don select the whole table for you, all the data wey dey inside the table. If Excel no select am, you fit just click on this button wey dey here and then you fit select your table by yourself. But as Excel don select our table for us, so na the table wey we go use be this. Na our data source be this. If you wan use external data source, you fit click on external data source, choose your connection and so on. So but na the table wey we wan use be this. And now e dey ask choose where you want the pivot table report to be placed. Either you want make Excel place am on new worksheet or you want place am on this existing worksheet, but I prefer new worksheet. And then you fit enter the location of the worksheet where you want. So make we click OK. So as we click OK, Excel don create new worksheet for our pivot. So you see pivot table tools. To build a report, choose fields from the pivot table field list. So now our field list be this. Our field list now basically the title of our fields. So you see our serial number, employee code, name of employee, sex, age, and so on. See serial number, employee code, and so on. So now our pivot table fields be this, and then we have some other empty fields here. Drag fields between areas below. So to create our pivot table, basically, wetin we go do now to drag these fields inside these empty fields. We fit drag them inside filters, inside columns, rows, and values. This filter area now to apply global filter to a pivot table. While these columns, rows, and values, dey useful for us to arrange our data anyhow we want them. So make we see some examples. So now make we drag the name of employees to our rows. We'll see wetin go happen. As we drag them to our rows, we see say a list pop up for here. Now the names of our employees be this, the names of the sales, the employees in the sales department. Now them be this. So see we have quite a number, 78. So make we filter by zone. Okay, so as you see, so our filter don't appear up here. Make we look only those wey dey the head office. Make we untick this one. Only head office. Okay. So now the salespersons wey dey the head office be this. So make we look at the revenue generated. We drag revenue generated to values. So you see so under the summation of values, as we drag the revenue generated, it don't automatically do a summation of the revenue generated. So throughout the period, Ari or Anika generated this amount, Audu generated this amount, and the grand total generated now this amount. So now the sum of the revenue generated be this. So make we just quickly format this so our table will look finer. We'll make we format it, format cells, currency, Naira. and then decimal place. Okay, so now the sum of revenue generated with this. So now how we fit use pivot tables with this to show reports. So if we filter this one by, we'll say maybe not, and we untick head office, click OK. See am. So now the report way we will get with this, and then we fit use the filters in different ways. We fit even add another filter. We fit say maybe vaccination status. If we add them to filter, if we say okay, vaccinated or not yet vaccinated. If we include all vaccinated people with the northern zone, if we also include maybe just the vaccinated people in the north. If we also add, if we filter them by sex, if we say okay, only the females. Okay, so now if we create reports using pivot table with this. So if you double click on this value, for instance, it will bring the full value for you, the full value will be behind this sum of revenue generated. So you see a bill Deborah, revenue generated, number of customers, and so on. So make I add some other things. Make I remove filters. To remove filter, if you just untick them, or if you just drag them outside. So if you drag them outside, the filter don't come out. So it's the sex filter don't come out for here. So make we add another filter, just to play around the pivot table. So make we add our date. You see, as we add our date, it don't automatically group them to months. So we have August, September, October, November, December. There were probably no sales made during the month of July. So if we group dates and if we ungroup. So you see this small icon waiting in front of them, this plus icon. If we use them to get more details of what happened with each of our salesperson, each of our vaccinated salespersons in the north, we will use them to get more details about what happened about each of them in the month of August. So we'll just tick on. So 4th of August and 9th of August. Eyibio made a sale on the 4th of August, and Odizie made another sale the 9th of August. So if you check December too, on the 5th of December, this person made a sale, and 26th of December, this person generated this revenue. So our dates don't dey grouped already, but if we group and if we ungroup them, we see as if we ungroup them. So if we ungroup them, so all the dates will be say revenue they generated, it goes pull up all those dates for us, so you can see the dates. So you can also group. You can group according to seconds, minutes, hours, days, months, quarter, years. So if we group based on months, for instance, so now what we get before be this. So maybe we group based on quarter. This should be like just 2 quarters, quarter 3 and quarter 4. So we can remove the months or we can take it. Let's remove it and see. So for quarter 3, quarter 4. Add the months. You can add the year, days. So now we fit use pivot tables. So make we clear this pivot table. Let's clear it. See how we can do some other things on it. Okay, we'll bring dates to the filters. Then let's see the name of employee. Then we'll see revenue generated. So, and then we could just add another filter. So in the head office and the date, let's say for the month of October, only in DIA made a sale for the month of October. So come, let's check another thing. Now see if we compare the if we compare them filters. Okay, only females. So now how we fit use our pivot table with this? We fit use am anyhow we want. So if we use our pivot table anyhow wey dey convenient for us or anyhow wey dey beneficial. E no get law wey talk say na here you must put any part of the fields. So you can put it anywhere wey be say e go make your report dey easy to interpret for other people. So make we try another thing. Filter this. So sum of revenue generated. So another thing wey I wan quickly show us now how we fit create charts using pivot tables. To create chart, we fit come to analyze, pivot chart, and then we fit choose any kind chart wey we want. Do we want a column, line chart, pie chart, bar chart, and so on? When we choose pie chart, and let's see the design. I think the design is nice. Okay. So if we edit our charts, if we clean up our charts to make it look nicer. If we choose from a range of options or charts. So let me just go with this one. So now the names of employees wey dey the head office be this, and the sum of revenue generated na im be this. So and e don reflect for our chart. So make I just quickly make am look a little bit more neat. Hide all this. And make we hide this one too. And so now our chart for this particular pivot table, or the chart be this. So and then we can even edit it. We can change the chart type. We can move the chart. We can switch the row to column. We can select data. We'll see as we fit even change the chart. If we go to, we'll use bar chart. Okay. So we'll remove all these ones. We'll remove these lines. So now another chart be this. Now bar chart be this. So now visual representation of this particular pivot table we will get for here. So now like this, we fit manipulate our data around pivot table, and now like this, we fit create reports and charts. So make I remove this chart. Okay. Another thing about pivot table, we say maybe you add a new data to this particular data set. Maybe you add a particular data to it. You fit refresh them so it will reflect for your pivot table. All you just need to do now to right click and then click on refresh. So once you refresh them, it will reflect the new value what you put for this particular data. So make we come out this. So another thing what we fit do with pivot table is say we fit sort in pivot table. You don't already see say we fit use the filter option, but even in pivot table we fit use the sort option too. So if you want sort this one, for instance, from the employee who had the largest sum of revenue generated, if we just come to sort from smallest to largest or largest to smallest. So maybe sort from largest to smallest. So Olauti had the highest revenue generated, followed by Samuel King, and so on. So if we use the sorting function. So another thing what we do with pivot table now to edit how the values will reflect for our pivot table. You know, say when we bring the revenue here, what's the revenue? The revenue generated, it automatically gave us a summation of revenue generated. So now the sum be this. So if we edit am, make e give us another kind of value. So instead of sum of values, if we click on the sum of revenue generated and we click on value field settings, so we fit summarize the value by the sum, the count, average, maximum, minimum, product, and so on. Another thing what we fit do now to show the value as either a percentage of the total, percentage of column total, percentage of row total, and so on. So different ways wey we fit summarize our data. So make we just see one or two examples. So make we quickly see one or two things. 6. Okay, so make we do just one or two examples before we complete this section. We'll remove all these fields. So for example, we want to create a report where they show the total revenue made by each salesperson in the Southwest. So wetin we fit do now to first go to the zone, filter by the zone, and then we'll filter am to Southwest, untick this, okay. And then the total revenue made by each salesperson. So let's bring the salesperson to rows, and then the total revenue. So now the report where they show the total revenue made by each salesperson in the southwest, and the total revenue be this. Make we see another example. For example, maybe we want to show the revenue generated one branch at a time. So if it's commodity zone, put branch, one branch at a time. Make we say Abuja. The total revenue generated for Abuja is 188 million. For Jos, total revenue generated 342 million. And then we can show for each and every one of these branches. Another easy way we will do this now to make we comot branch for here, put the branch for columns. Okay, so then for the column label, if we just come here, select all, okay. So Abuja, Jos, Lagos, Port Harcourt, and then we have the total revenue made for each of those branches here: 188 million, 342 million, 260 million, 193 million for each of the branches. Then maybe we won't find the top 5 salesperson across all the branches. So for here, we have the grand total of the revenue generated by each of the salespersons across all the branches. So make we now look at the top 5. We'll just sort from largest to smallest. So the top 5 be this. This is the top 5: Joshua, Miriam, Kendall, Favor, and Olauti. So and then maybe we want to also check the month in which the highest sales was made. If we just come out this one for columns and bring the date, month in which the highest sales was made, select all, okay. So this is July, August, September, October, November, December. So this is for July, 229 million. For August, September, October, November, December. So I think December had the highest revenue generated, so it has the highest sales made. So now, so if we use pivot tables for Microsoft Excel, now so if we make our work look neater, and now so if it create reports, we be say it could be understandable by anybody way look am.